Hey everyone, welcome back to Shade Review. In today's video, we are reviewing the Ray-Ban RB3765 sunglasses. But first, letting today's video sponsor our own website, shadereviewstore.com, the absolute best place to buy designer sunglasses, up to 80% off the original MSRP. Again, the website there is shadereviewstore.com. Check it out. So let's go ahead and pop the sunglasses on face and talk about the dimensions. These frames have 53mm lenses in a 22mm bridge, and they're only produced in this one standard lens size, so they do not make a larger or a smaller lens size of the RB3765. These frames have a really interesting irregular lens shape to them. So here we can see they basically mostly look round, but if we take a close look, we can actually see there's this kind of like flat spot in the round lens here that points in towards the bridge. And this is going to be really interesting because this is actually going to allow people who typically don't look good with round sunglasses to potentially be able to pull off these frames. So a lot of people who have more rounder faces don't like the look of round lenses because they don't like that kind of symmetry there. But with these frames, having that little flat spot there definitely kind of breaks up the roundness of the frames, and potentially, you know, those people are going to be able to wear these frames. So I really do like the idea behind this frame, and I think it looks a lot better here with the irregular lens shape versus a just kind of traditional round lens. Now, these frames are built in the same form factor as the new Caravan and the new Aviator, with their thick and very substantial metal frames. And if we look on the outside, we can see this kind of stamped metal material, which looks really nice, and it's going to also be found here on the top ridge of the frames as well. Now, as far as the exact colorway that we have on today's video, these have Ray-Ban's Legend Gold frames with their classic G15 crystal all glass lenses, and the lens clarity here is going to be very good, and they're also going to offer very good scratch resistance as well, which is really nice for the longevity of the pair of frames. And when looking through them, the lenses are very clear, and Ray-Ban does produce these with polarized lenses and a couple gradient lenses as well, and they're all glass, which is really, really nice. Now, as far as the frame material here goes, we have these metal frames, and then we have a nylon, I believe, acetate looking insert. So here around the rim of the frame, we can see this kind of tortoise nylon material, which looks really interesting and definitely adds some more depth to the frames. And then if we take a look at the outside temple, we can see we have that same kind of tortoise nylon material, which is color matched in kind of a matte finish, and it's color matched to the front of the frames. And I do definitely like the looks of those. Now, these frames also have fully adjustable nose rests. You can actually bend these out and give them a custom fit to face. And looking through them, we can see an etched RB logo there for authentication purposes. Now, typically these frames are going to be made in China. So they say Ray-Ban T here in the inner right temple of the frames. And sometimes they will say made in China right after that as well. My particular pair doesn't say that, but again, most of these are made in China. And any pair of Ray-Ban that says T on it typically is not going to be made in Italy. So definitely keep that in mind. Now, if we take a look at the inner left temple of the frames, we can see the model number, the color code information, and the lens size information there as well. And if we take a look here at the lower bridge of the frames, we can see it does say 5322. And then here in the under bridge of the frames, we can see it does say Ray-Ban. And something that's kind of weird is that Ray-Ban font definitely looks off. This pair, of course, is authentic, but for whatever reason, and this is kind of the same thing with the new Aviators, the little Ray-Ban logo there doesn't look right, and maybe it's because it's not kind of the italic logo. It's just kind of like very flat and straight, but definitely interesting there. I don't really actually kind of like the look of that Ray-Ban logo, but that's, you know, not the end of the world. Nobody's actually going to see it. Now, if we take a look at the frames on face, we can see a gold Legend logo here, and then we can see a etched RB logo here in the middle left of the lens for authentication purposes as well. Now, as far as the weight goes, these frames are going to be relatively heavy, coming in at 38 grams, and that's because they have these relatively big metal frames with the all glass lenses and then the nylon inserts as well, and also a very long top bar here at the top of the frames. So 38 grams is definitely relatively relatively heavy. And if you wear these frames all day long, you're definitely gonna feel some discomfort here around the nose rest. Even though they are completely adjustable, there's just a lot of weight kind of bearing there on the nose, and it just doesn't make it very comfortable. So definitely that's kind of one of the bigger downsides of these frames. And then because the actual temples are relatively lightweight, they're not balanced extremely well. So they're gonna be very kind of top heavy, again, putting kind of strain on the nose rest rather than kind of having the weight more in the back to kind of level out the heavy lenses. So not the most comfortable pair of frames, but not the end of the world. Now, these frames have very nice and premium 3-barrel all-metal hinges, and they feel really, really good when open up and when close them. Just very, very substantial and nice. I really do like the feel of these frames. And as far as build quality goes, even though this pair is made in China, honestly, the build quality here is really, really good. I've definitely inspected these frames thoroughly, and I cannot find a single manufacturing flaw. They don't squeak, they don't make any noise. They feel really, really nice and premium. The metal is a high quality material. The nylon is high quality, and it's just an overall very well built pair of frames. And that's not always the case when it comes to Ray-Ban's Chinese frames. A lot of them are made with, you know, severely lacking quality control, and these frames definitely are not. I am very impressed with these, and this isn't the only pair I've handled. I've handled a bunch of these, and they've all been really, really good so far. So definitely feel confident with buying a pair of these frames. As far as the actual quality goes, these honestly do feel just as good as the Italian ones, in my opinion. If you blindfolded me and just had me feel the frames, again, I would tell you these are Italian. Or typically, I can definitely spot the Chinese ones just by feel. Now, as far as coverage from the sun goes, these frames are going to offer pretty bad coverage from the sun because they have, of course, these basically round lenses. So here up top, we can see there's a massive gap that lets sunlight in unprotected. Then here on the sides, again, there's a massive gap that does let sunlight in unprotected. So not the most practical pair of sunglasses that are reviewed on this YouTube channel. So overall, I actually really do like the frames. I like the look, and I think they are very trendy for 2024. Just a good looking pair of frames. It's gonna look good on everybody. And again, the build quality here is really good. Now, as far as pricing goes, these frames are going to run you $182, so they're definitely not a cheap pair of sunglasses like some of the other Chinese ones that come in at like $140. These are definitely one of the more premium ones, but honestly, I don't have a problem paying that kind of money because the build quality is really good on these frames. So yeah, let me know what you think about these sunglasses in the comment section down below. Do you love them? Do you hate them? Let me know and leave me a comment in the comment section down below. But that's all I got for guys in this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give me a big thumbs up down below. And of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button and then to be notified every single time I upload a brand new video just like this one to our YouTube channel. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.